Hey Mo, I know I'm not motherfucking tripping. That's a motherfucker. What the f going on in the sky? By law, I know I'm not tripping. What the fuck, motherfucking spaceship? This ain't no AI neither. We in the middle of the city, yeah.
I have absolutely no idea what that could be, and that definitely does not look man-made. I don't know if any of you guys know what this is or have seen this, but this is honestly insane. But guys, today we have a ton of videos and perspectives covering this alien situation, and you won't want to miss a single insane clip.
Pay attention to the water, not the skies. That's what I told all of you, but did you listen? No. And now multiple reports coming out of Florida are confirming from sailors, Navy officers, military personnel that there is in fact a mothership under the water off the coast of Daytona Beach, Florida. Now, there have also been sightings of over 1,000 different orbs that are floating above this mothership. I kept trying to tell you, I'm an air sign, but something kept saying it's more about the water. It's the water. They're not showing up in the skies. There are going to be versions of them showing up in the sky, but pay attention to the water. When I got into that council meeting, all I could feel afterwards was we're being misguided. We're being misdirected. It's not over the skies. It's in our oceans. And now people are coming forward claiming and saying that they've seen it. So before you say photos or didn't exist, I have so many friends from Florida sending me videos and photos. I have them, but TikTok has this thing where it removes the video if you attach those. So I'm just gonna say, take what you will, leave what you won't, but I told you, pay attention to the water, not the sky.
Alright guys, so let me know if you have seen anything like this in the sky or the water, but you know, as this man said, you should be paying attention to the water as well, but you know, as we have seen, there have been orbs in the sky as well, and you'll see more of that later in the video.
Behind me, you can see one of 17 alien-based caves, which enters into what we are almost 99% sure is the entry point to Agartha, the Hollow Earth. This underground civilization said to exist within the Earth's core was first discovered by one of Christopher Columbus's disgruntled cronies. His former co-captain, Shepard Charlemagne, allegedly led an expedition 13 miles into this exact Antarctic snow cave on the night of April 30th, 1886. He claimed to find a mythical subterranean kingdom inhabited by enlightened lizard-like beings. Today, this so-called Hollow Earth, aka Agartha, is rumored to be a preferred vacation destination for the global elites.
Oliver Tree is gone, but before he died, he went to Antarctica. And he didn't just see the famous ice wall, he climbed it. He claimed he discovered a pyramid down there. It was likely created by an ancient society 10, 15, or maybe 20,000 years ago. But that is not the scary detail that made him stay. Right behind him, he noticed 5 different entry points. He truly assumed they led straight into an alien facility, a dark tunnel network that reportedly goes directly into Agartha, an unknown world rumored to survive deep inside our planet.
So that ice wall has been debated if it's man-made or not, if it's natural or not, but obviously it's bigger than the pyramids, which is insane. And as we all know, Oliver Tree has recently passed away. Very unfortunate.
Family is considered the most investigated and documented UFO case. This is literally my dad, Chris Bledsoe, at Mission Control in NASA, where he was invited into the astronaut quarters that literally not even like presidents are allowed to go into. Only 300 or so people in the world have been invited into these private spaces that he was invited into. Why? Because for 19 years, my family has been experiencing the phenomenon at a level that other people haven't. And I'm not saying this for like a brag or for recognition. I'm saying this to make a point. But before I say it, I want to give you a little bit of context that my family was treated very cruelly, very viciously for many years because of our experiences that never stopped. And while we were going to school, going to church, going to the gas station and getting horribly picked on and mocked and like treated poorly, the government was showing up and asking us questions and investigating us and seeing the phenomenon with us. And when I say the government, I mean people representing every agency you can imagine, literally showing up to family events. This was the day I won homecoming one year, and this is Tim Taylor, who, look him up, and these people here are with like US Naval Intelligence, and they like came to my homecoming. And on this day, I had to sit down and he showed me and everyone in my family separately, all one at a time, he showed us a classified presentation on his laptop about the phenomenon, and then also made us all hold this like medal from a craft and was testing us because pretty much when you hold one of the pieces of metal and then hold the other one in the other hand, there would be a reaction if you were truly someone who had experienced the phenomenon. And every member of my family had a reaction. It felt like tingles, like connecting through my arms. But my dad's was so intense that he like seized in his head, like his eyes and his head rolled back. He knew like we weren't faking it, because these beings told my dad that they work for creation. They healed him of an unhealable disease the day that he went out in 2007 and said, God, heal me or take me away. I can't live like this anymore. We had lost everything. We were in poverty. Like literally, we didn't have a fridge. We had a cooler. And he was healed. If we are the most documented and investigated UFO case, having more experience and consistent communication with the phenomenon for this many years, and we've proven it over and over and over to government people, like, why are they talking about all of this stuff with ufology? Why aren't they saying our name?
All right, so hopefully as more and more disclosure comes out, as we all know, in the next 60 days, the president has to release more files or else whistleblowers will come out. Hopefully this family is involved and showed in that at least, but it doesn't seem like there is going to be any disclosure from their end, which is kind of weird. I do believe some families and people might have, more experience with, a higher power or these beings or whatever it may be than others, and more sensations as she talked about.
So let me get this straight. Brazil is trending right now because some guy, he captured, I guess what they're calling a UFO or UAP clearly on camera, correct? Sparking that entire government to release, all the footage that they have of aliens, including, I guess what they're calling an actual picture of an alien, right? So everyone thought the man was lying, when that video hit the internet and it was going across TikTok and all social media, and everybody's watching this video thinking that this man was lying, right? Until other people in Brazil, they captured the same footage from different angles. So that's what sparked the Brazilian government to release all the documents they have. And it's getting interesting, guys, because they put out videos, not videos, but pictures back from like the 1960s or something like that. But they're old pictures that they had of UFOs, UAPs, whatever you want to call it, over the ocean. So interesting week, guys, full disclosure. And who would have knew that Brazil will be forced, or the Brazilian government will be forced into releasing this content for the masses before, America. I'm out.
Alright, so this is very interesting, and it makes sense why more and more disclosure might be coming out from the United States and other countries. Things like this happening, the Brazilian government releasing footage like this, which is pretty abnormal, because as we all know, the US and the US government has a ton of files and information on this that have been classified for hundreds of years by now.
Y'all, this is the reiteration video of what I was talking about, what I think of what the dark web is and how it's portals, right? And one of the things I said inside that video was that the internet or the dark web, the web, whatever we want to call it, is ancient technology because no one created it. If you go ask Google, Google is going to tell you that a group of scientists came together and developed it in the 1980s doing a CERN thing. Y'all just pause to read this and you'll see what I'm talking about. But if y'all fully do your research on the web, y'all, nobody created the web. They just figured out how to divert it or where to put it at. Y'all, the web is ancient technology. This is ancient technology. This is why you can't find out who created the internet. On a whole rabbit hole, they'll tell you about the scientists who developed on it, how the wires were built, the groups was going on, but it still does not answer the main question of who created the internet. And I'm not saying it's proving my point as in, oh, I'm right, it's ancient technology. It's just a POV that I'm saying, like, y'all, like, we have ancient technology inside this world, and the web is the biggest powerful one out of them all, and the web is way deeper than what we think it is. The web is used for more than just transactions or keeping up with people. Y'all, we could really use this. There's probably certain parts of the web where you can use it and you can teleport somewhere. You can talk to other beings. There's probably a broadcasting system so deep in the web that you can tap into. You can be talking to some shit you ain't never knew existed. Hey, I could just be a crazy person, y'all. It is what it is, y'all. I ain't seen the beginning of the video, y'all. My name is Kendall. Drop it there beside the comments. Me and you are now real-time friends. And until the next video, bye!
So I know this theory has been floating around for, you know, decades by now, and some think that it has merit, and some think that it doesn't have merit, and that humans did create the web, technology, etc. But hey, who knows? With the advancement of technology being so quick over the last 20 to 30 years, it is a little bit suspicious.
Can someone please tell me why NASA would be frolicking around in Algeria, but then pretending to be on Mars? This isn't the only time that NASA has done this. They also went to Devon Island, Canada, and then pretended to be on Mars. So those rover pictures that you see, they were in Canada, or even Algeria. They even have a whole little NASA base set up in Devon Island. You can literally go on Google Earth and find them. Why are they doing this if they could just go to Mars and take real videos and real pictures? Well, that's because we have likely never actually landed on Mars. Because if you actually look at a real video of Mars, it is light and sound resonating in the waters above, in the firmament. So if you can't go past the firmament, then how are you going to get to Mars? And this goes for all of the stars and all of the planets. They look absolutely nothing like the CGI images that NASA and the other space agencies like to give us. And another thing that is really, really weird, apparently there was a drone on Mars that found a door. Now, is that an alien door? Are there aliens on this rock planet with a CO2 atmosphere of virtually nothing? Or is something else going on? I would argue that we can't actually go to Mars because you can't travel through the void of space, but I made this video entirely for entertainment purposes only.
Alright, so I'm not saying that we never landed on Mars or humans never stepped foot on Mars, but of course, hearing this theory, this is one of the most popular conspiracies probably out there on the internet, floating around for decades by now, even before the internet. I mean, just seeing places that look one-to-one identical with, you know, the quote-unquote moon or Mars, whatever, it is a bit interesting. Alright, so we have another video from a different perspective, from a completely different person of these floating orbs, which happened, you know, earlier last week, 2 weeks ago, in Washington, D.C., 1 o'clock in the morning when a lot of people are sleeping, but of course, luckily enough, we did have footage of this. Definitely very suspicious.
Antarctica, where there is apparently a pyramid that, if you could see it without the ice covering it, is much larger than the Great Pyramid of Giza. That pyramid was a landmark for the surface feature of something that is predominantly underground. There are enormous ancient builder race ruins underneath the surface in Antarctica. The progenitors crash landed in Antarctica, but at the time, the Earth was on a different axial tilt, and Antarctica was not covered by ice. So the people who crash landed in what we now call Antarctica began to introduce their DNA into the genetic material of humans from Earth. And those people who were cloned out did have the elongated skull physiology. Apparently there were 2 royal lineages that go all the way back to the source planets themselves, and they have slightly different features. When you look at the elongated skulls, some of them have a distinct bun-like bump that looks almost like there is a ball on the surface of their head there, whereas other elongated skulls have a smooth slope without that bun-like protrusion. This apparently refers to the two major types of extraterrestrial lineages from this exploded planet.
So this is the same place that Oliver Tree kind of exposed in his video that we saw earlier here, and it definitely is very suspicious. Hopefully we get more and more information coming out of these whistleblowers closer to Disclosure Day.
Where do we all stand on this James Franco situation that's going on lately? Now, I know he has a controversial past, and that's not what we're discussing here. We're discussing specifically the alien he claims is living in the shed in his backyard, and he's shown videos of it. The fact that he says that aliens have been following him for a long time now. He then confirmed that aliens were at his DJ set. Now, I know he is known for seeking attention, but I've watched his videos. I've had them sent to me. A lot of you have sent his videos to me. I still don't know where I stand on it. Obviously, I believe in aliens. I believe they've been here forever. I just don't know where I stand with this. Do any of you have a stronger opinion or thought that you might want to share with me on it? Because there's always some truth, even when people are trying to fabricate or exaggerate.
So James Franco is a controversial figure because, you know, he has, I guess, fake things in the past or said some things that are just completely outlandish, but hey, there is a little bit of truth to everything.
The CIA recently declassified a book that says all of humanity will soon be wiped out in a global cataclysm. The book is called The Adam and Eve Story. Part 1 and 2 blew my mind and they're up on my profile. What really trips me out is that the events outlined in this book actually gives reasonable explanations to history's greatest mysteries, such as Antarctica, the lost city of Atlantis, the pyramids all around the world, Stonehenge, Easter Island, the forgotten Pacific continent of Mu, the list goes on. And virtually every religion in ancient folklore and history talks about catastrophe that resets the entire world, like the famous Noah's Ark, the Hurricane flood of the Mayans, the Sumerians had the flood in Gilgamesh, and all written completely independent of each other and all prophesizing that it will happen again, aka Judgment Day. Same goes for the legends of the pyramids and all these ancient structures all around the world. Each of these cultures have an almost identical story of some greater being coming down and building these monuments for them, despite these ancient civilizations being tens of thousands of kilometers apart and never coming into contact with each other. Not a single one of them actually taking credit for these incredible achievements themselves. I don't know about you, but if I was some great civilization that built something as incredible as the pyramids, I would definitely want to be flexing on everyone about it. But these stories of the pyramids and worldwide floods, remnants of our advanced ancestors passed on to the Stone Age of the next civilization of humans.
So the fact that this was, you know, classified to begin with is a bit interesting, and I think that that is the biggest thing about all this. Why was this classified and hidden from, you know, Americans for such a long time? Because at the end of the day, if it's classified, then it's usually something that someone doesn't want you seeing.
We are in the middle of disclosure happening right now. It's been unfolding and right now it's ramping up faster than ever before. And it might not be what you think. You might be told that disclosure is about the revealing of, you know, species of aliens that have been coming to our planet or that are coming from somewhere else. But the truth is, disclosure itself is part of a spiritual war that is happening right now and is raging on our planet.
But yeah, it is interesting how, you know, disclosure has been ramping up so much in the last, you know, couple months. And it really does seem that now we are closer than ever to receiving some declassified information.
I think we skipped timelines again. I just made a video about the CERN collider being shut off. And now the Chick-fil-A logo is back to CHICK. I had had multiple conversations with friends over the past few months and years saying that breaking news, they turned the CERN particle collider off for maintenance, apparently for 4 years. And people are reporting that they can actually sleep at night now, that they don't have headaches, and that time is going slower, as opposed to before they turned this thing off. People were saying time was going very fast, which I would...
So interesting how when they turned this off, and this has been a huge controversy recently, you know, people stopped getting headaches, people stopped basically feeling bad, who lived kind of in this circle. Very interesting, right? That's the only thing I have to say. I don't know if that has any correlation, but who knows?
Did you guys know that not too long ago they discovered a painting behind an ancient painting in Italy? And what is shocking about this whole situation is not just there's another painting, like, you know, paintings are all over the place, but the painting is of a guy on a horse slaying a dragon. So this is a painting. You got a blue sky, you got a guy on a horse with a spear, and this crazy dragon-looking thing with bones all around it. But here's the question you need to be asking yourself. Why is it not like a real animal that they drew? Why did they draw this fictional thing that's a total myth and that's not real at all? Why does the Chinese calendar have a dragon on it with a bunch of other real animals, one mythical fake one that's not existent, but they don't have a panda? This is actually two things in one. Ancient Chinese images, they've drawn everything, but they never drew a panda up until the early, 19th century something, which is shocking. Why wouldn't the panda be on here, but a fake dragon is? Now, you may be thinking, like, maybe they thought, like, it was dinosaurs and they wrote dragon instead. Well, actually, the theory is, what if they weren't dinosaurs, but they were actually dragons? And then, of course, that leads us to the question, if there were dragons, where did they all go? If they existed amongst us, it's like that should be pretty well recorded. So did the history get erased and they got rid of all the dragons? Or did they fly away past the ice wall or something? Like, these are questions you got to be wondering. Apparently, Marco Polo claimed that the Chinese emperor kept massive quote-unquote dragons in a province called Karazhan, which is modern-day Yunnan. According to his account, these creatures were raised by special families and used to pull large royal chariots in ceremonial parades. And what does a Chinese parade have today? Dragons, dude. Chinese New Year, it's all about dragons, man. So what happened to the dragons?
Alright, so I don't want to say that they are here or aren't, but it definitely is interesting how they all kind of disappeared and how prominent the dragon is in, you know, cultures like China now. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Let me know what you think about all these clips, about Disclosure Day, about, you know, these orbs in the sky, and I'll see you in the next one.